With F1 2020 just under 1 month away until launch, the countdown for Formula 1 2020 is on. Today I thought I'd give you guys a video on the new F1 2020 feature called MyTeam. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about how it works, the features in the mode, and just overall getting you guys ready for the new MyTeam mode. And I'm not going to lie, I'm actually really excited. I'm actually excited because there's a lot of things in this mode that are actually worth getting excited about. The fact that you can actually create your team, which has never been done in a Formula 1 game before by Codys, and not only create your own Formula 1 team, but also manage it and also buy drivers. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how you can buy drivers, how the mode works, how you begin the mode, and just everything that you need to know before the game pretty much gets launched next month. But before we get underway, I just want you guys to like the video and subscribe to the channel for Formula 1 2020 videos. As soon as the game comes out on July 7th, I'm going to pre-order the game later on this week, and if there's anything that you should know about F1 2020, any cinematic cutscenes or massive information regarding the gameplay or my team, then I'll let you guys know. But do me a favor, like the video and subscribe. Can we get over 500 subs before the game comes out? But without further ado, let's get started on MyTeam. So what is MyTeam? MyTeam is a separate game mode from the traditional driver career, which still exists in the game with few improvements of its own. MyTeam completely gives you the control of being the 11th team of a fictional Formula 1 grid, with complete customization of your race suit, your livery, your badge, and overall your development, your facilities, and also your drivers. And the main goal in MyTeam is actually different to the main goal in a normal driver career mode. In a normal driver career mode, your main objective is to win races, get on the podium, and eventually win the World Drivers' Championship. But in this mode, your focus is more based on winning the constructors and making sure that your team is balanced through both drivers. So how does MyTeam work in F1 2020? Well, how it works is pretty much you're going to have to start by creating your own team. But before you do that, you're going to have to create your own driver first. And the procedure is pretty much just like last year's and the previous years. We have to create your own driver, choose a face template, pick your name and your nationality and all that other stuff. Once you create your own driver, then you get to create your own team. It starts by creating your own livery first. You get to pick sponsors, and when I say sponsors, I mean fake sponsors. Limav has said this in multiple interviews, and you get to place them anywhere you want in the car. You get to pick sponsors and put them anywhere on the car, so you can put them on the side pods, you can put them on the halo, you can put them on the chassis. Unlike last year's game, there's no real, you can actually pick where you want the sponsors to go. So if you like a certain livery design on F1 2019, you couldn't really change the sponsors and where they went. If you liked a certain sponsor on a side pod, you couldn't change it because it was on the chassis. But in this year's game, you can actually choose and resize where you want the sponsors to be. Once you've done with placing your sponsors, you then have to pretty much choose a color scheme for your car and your race suit. And I don't know how many color schemes you can do, if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or how many, but you can choose your colors, and then you can get to choose a badge. Now, as far as how the badge works, unfortunately it's not going to be like where you can customize it on Photoshop and then upload it on a server. I'm guessing you've got to pick out a badge of one of the many templates on the F1 2020 game, and then I'm guessing you can customize the colors on the badge, and then bang, it's done. Then after you do that, you have to choose your name of your race team, and it literally can be anything. I don't know how offensive it can be or what you can and can't get away with, but hopefully you can choose a good name that will be a good name for your team. And then once you've done all that, you then have to choose an F2 driver first. And now this is mandatory. You start with an F2 driver, and you can pick any F2 driver from the 2019 or /2020 F2 grid. So if you want, you could pick Mick Schumacher, you could pick anyone from F2, and then pretty much whoever you pick as your F2 driver will act as your second driver in the start of MyTeam. So now let's talk about the Formula 1 season. For the first time ever, you can actually pick how many races you want in an F1 season. There will be 3 options as to how many races you want. It reminds me of F1 2014. Was it F1 2014 or F1 2013 where you could pick how many races you want? But in F1 2020, you can pick either 10, 16, or a full 22 race championship if that's what you desire. Obviously, with this whole coronavirus pandemic, it looks like we're going to have pretty much a 10 or 12 race championship. But if you want to actually go through with what was supposed to be 22 race championship, you can do in the game. F1 drivers can retire and be replaced by F2 drivers, which is something that didn't happen in F1 2019. So for example, let's say if Kimi Raikkonen retires from Formula 1 in Sauber or Alfa Romeo, then Alfa Romeo will pretty much go on the F2 market and find an F2 driver to replace him, or we'll go on the driver market and find which Formula 1 driver is available in free agency. Interviews will affect the team morale and performance. I think that should be no surprise there, considering the fact of what we've been playing for like the last 2 seasons, ever since they reintroduced interviews back in F1 2018 with Claire. Obviously, what you say to the media will affect your team morale and will boost or give your team a negative performance in a certain department, or will give your team negative morale depending on what you say. Actually, speaking of interviews, here's a really cool feature. Will Buxton will replace Claire as your interviewer. So I actually think that's really nice how they finally got Will Buxton in. He's the official F1 interviewer for the sport, and finally, for the first time ever, Will Buxton is actually going to get the chance to be a part of the Formula 1 2020 game. In MyTeam and F1 2020, money will matter, and it just doesn't matter for your development or your departments. It'll also matter for your driver salary and also the facilities that you build on. So for example, you can't spend all your money on getting a certain driver or picking a certain development that you want the car to upgrade to. You've got to try and even out everything. So let's say, for example, you have $2 million or £2 million or something. You want to spend pretty much 500k on driver development, you want to spend 500k on the car development, another 500k on the facilities as far as reliability, and then save another 500k for a certain driver that you may want. So pretty much saving your money and sharing one, or maybe even an F2 driver, or maybe you can spend more money on training your current driver to be even better. If you want to be winning a Constructors' Championship, then you're going to need a second driver. And what do you do if you don't have enough money to buy a new driver who's much better than your current second driver? You're going to have to train him. With the money that you'll make from F1 2020 MyTeam, you're going to have to train your second driver to the point where he becomes better and better every race, to the point where he's somehow on the level of you. You can't overall diminish him, otherwise his team morale will go down, and before you know it, he'll leave your team and join another team that might be your rival in the midfield. So it's very important in MyTeam this year that you train your second driver and you treat him with equalness to you, otherwise his morale to the team overall will go down and he will leave the team, and you're going to have to force to pretty much start over again and pretty much buy a certain driver. The normal R&D tree in F1 2020 MyTeam will be returning, so you have those 4 departments, one for the chassis, one for the engine, one for the reliability, and one for the downforce. They will all return, and depending on your sponsors and how good you perform in the races, and also with the answers that you give in the press, they will have a positive/negative effect on how much each part will buy. Just be aware of how much money you're spending for these developments, considering the fact that you have to pretty much save your money for your facility and also your driver salary. Last but not least, the big new feature in F1 2020 MyTeam Mode is F1 driver ratings. Drivers in MyTeam Mode are scored based on 4 key attributes, and those 4 key attributes are experience, racecraft, awareness, and pace. So right now on the screen you're going to be seeing the Red Bull driver ratings. Max Verstappen has an overall rating of 90 and Alex Albon has an overall rating of 79. So notice how Verstappen's experience is at a 68, but I think someone like Kimi Raikkonen or maybe Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel will have 99 maybe race experience, since Kimi's been racing since pretty much the late 90s or early 2000s pretty much, so he's been racing for a long time. But, you know, someone like, I don't know, let's say Antonio Giovinazzi maybe, he might not have a good racecraft, or, I don't know, who doesn't have good, I mean, let's say Grosjean maybe, Grosjean might have lower racecraft, but I think that's really interesting how those 4 attributes, experience, racecraft, awareness, and pace, really dictates what the driver's overall is. And notice at the bottom of the name, they pretty much have how much the value. So for example, Max Verstappen is worth $10.5 million. That is massive. And notice at the end, that's his contract cost. And then underneath that, it's his salary at 7 mil, and then buyout clause, or his buyout, is 3.5 million. So if you want to buy Verstappen out, you're going to have to pay 3.5 million to buy him out, and then pay 7 million to pretty much pay him for every single race that he attends. But he won't go to your team if your team doesn't meet the standards of the facilities. So let's say, for example, if you want to sign Max Verstappen says, okay, I will sign for your team only if you have a level 3 facility in downforce, level 3 engine power in chassis, and maybe even a level 2 in aerodynamics. If you can't meet those levels, then Max Verstappen will not sign for you. So you're going to have to go with someone else who will meet those levels, but I don't know how much money you're going to make thanks to this mode. Like, let's say for example you finish in the points for the first time, how much money are you going to get? And plus also, do we get money, you know, after the races, or are we going to get money after the season's over? That's one of the interesting things. But thanks for watching this F1 2020 MyTeam video. Hopefully I explained everything regarding MyTeam, the creation, the season, how to buy drivers, F2 drivers, and also there's a list as well. So if you can't buy F2 drivers, or maybe all the F2 drivers are gone, or maybe your F2 driver has went to another team, you're going to have to pick a certain driver from this fairly long list, which are pretty much let's just say they're the bum drivers, and you don't want them. They're like the worst of the worst country mother, and if you don't sort out your team right, then you're going to have to be forced to buy one of these bottom tier drivers, and you're going to have to pretty much suffer until you find someone else. But that's my video on F1 2020 MyTeam. If I have missed anything out, I don't know if I have or not. If I've missed anything out, make sure to leave it down in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, please. Subscribe to the channel for F1 2020 videos and gameplay and news. The game's nearly out. We've only got a couple more weeks left until the start of the 2020 season and the start of the 2020 game. I'm really excited for my team and all these other features that are coming to F1 2020. But thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video, share the video, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.